Hey, good morning, guys. Today we're on Jeremiah 23. The first portion of this chapter talks about the Jews returning to Israel. And, this is something that already happened. I believe it happened in the 60s or 40s or something like that when Israel became a nation. And God has been calling the Israelites, all the Jews, back to Israel, and even now the devil's trying to fight that because, of course, what happens, and as you continue reading here, it tells you that they will have a righteous king, and I believe that righteous king is Jesus. So if the devil can somehow disband Israel again, of course, there is no nation, there is no righteous king. Yeah, so, and the second part of this is a lot of it deals with the false prophets. And I was thinking, what makes a false prophet, or what makes anything false in the kingdom of God? A false teacher, a false pastor, a false anybody. And I started thinking about that Revelation 3:16, that you're neither hot nor cold, and therefore you vomit to me, and just putting it all together in my head, it came up with sin. Sin makes anybody false. Saying that you are one thing, but living another way makes you false. And when you speak in the name of the Lord, you become false to Him, and He calls you a false prophet. I have somebody who's living sin says, "Hey, I have a word from the Lord to give to you." How do you really know when you can't, because of all the sin in your life? How do you really know it's from the Lord? Because you can't hear Him clearly. So you become a false prophet. And, about that, verse 29 says that God is like a fire or a hammer that shatters rock. You see, you can go from false to being true by the power of Christ. He says, "I am the fire. I will burn that sin." He says, "I am the rock. I am the hammer that breaks that rock. I will break all of that off of you." And I know that we've been hammering this home lately, all the same things. So, each one of us, we're still on this earth. We have something to work on, until the day comes where we're standing before Jesus. We have something to work on. Until that day comes where we're in our glorified body, we have sin in us, and we have stuff that needs to be shattered. So God says, "Let me shatter it. Come to me. Don't be found false. Don't be found lukewarm. Don't be found anything but on fire for me, on fire for my love, on fire for my truth, on fire for my people, on fire for my gifts, on fire for everything that I have for you." This is what He wants, and He wants to shatter and burn anything that is not of Him. And you know what? And we're hammering this home, but there's good reason for it. It's because we all have a destiny that God has given us. And without shattering and burning those parts of us that He did not put there, that He does not want there, we're never going to totally fulfill it. And I do believe that He has, when He opens up those books, when we get to Him, that He has books that say, "This is the life you were supposed to lead." And we can't argue and say, "You know what, I was an evangelist, and I went ahead and led 300 million people to you." And He says, "Yes, but I called you to be an accountant and lead these certain 5 to me." Without letting Him shatter that sin, we won't be able to find that true meaning and that true destiny that He has for us in that true life. I love you all. Have a great day.